This is the new BMW M235. Why they're calling it an M, I'm really not quite sure. They seem to be diluting the M badge. Back in the day when you had an M on your car, it really meant it was something special. They were very limited production, high horsepower cars, and now BMW seems to put M on pretty much anything, and they'll make it available to pretty much anybody with M appearance packages, M suspensions, M badges, and they've done that with this 2 Series. And the reason why is the previous car to this was called the 1 Series, the 128 and the 135. And at the end of its life, they came out with a very special limited edition 1M. And that really was a masculine looking car with big bulging fenders. It had the exhaust tips that looked mean. It really was an aggressive looking car and kind of was more of an M car. This car really, I think, should just be called the 235. So what they've done is they've changed all of their coupes to even numbers, 2, 4, 6, and soon to come 8, and the sedans will be 3, 5, and 7. So that's why they've gone from 1 Series to 2 Series. The previous 1 Series had incredible resale value, and Consumer Reports said it was the second best car they'd ever tested behind the Tesla Model S. So it really has a fantastic track record. Now they've come out with a sleeker, not as bulky, masculine looking car. The car is 3 inches overall longer. The wheelbase has been stretched by about an inch. Being able to stretch the body out means that they can lower the roofline down just a little bit. The front and rear windows have more of a rake, which gives the car a sleeker appearance. The old 1 Series really was kind of bulbous. It had a very high greenhouse, meaning the glass, and it dimensionally didn't quite look right. This one definitely looks sleeker and more like a 4 Series. If you're somebody that's in the market for a 4 Series, let's walk through this car and see if this might be a better match for you. New inside is pretty much standard BMW fare. You've got the comfortable seats. BMW does great seats. Very similar to the 3 Series in here. You've got the screen on the top for iDrive. You've got the iDrive controller here in the center console. Fabulous steering wheel. One thing I do appreciate though, they've made big openings in the door pockets there so you can get water bottles, sunglasses, wallet, lots of storage. This isn't a big car. Any extra storage in the door really is welcome. Now the back seat, because they were able to rake the roof a little bit more, the back seat headroom really is at a bit of a premium. This is a great car for a single person, a couple, or maybe if you have small children, but large people back there over 5'10", really not a lot of room. The good news is if you are a single person or a couple and you want to take off for the weekend, there's quite a bit of storage space in the trunk. The back seats fold down as well. So maybe not the best for a family as a second car, but definitely a fantastic choice for a young professional. So the 228 comes with the 2-liter direct injection turbocharged 4-cylinder that's used extensively across the BMW line, and it can make a run to 100 kilometers an hour in 5.7 seconds if you go for the 8-speed automatic transmission. Go for the 6-speed manual that I'm driving here, it drops to 5.9 seconds. Same thing with the M235. A run to 100 kilometers an hour, the automatic is 5 seconds. That's quick. If you want to do it with the manual, 5.2 seconds. Now, granted, the manual is fantastic to use, but it doesn't have as many gears, which means that when you drive with the automatic, it feels livelier because it's always got the car in that sweeter spot of horsepower and torque for whatever you're using. Sometimes when you drive the manual, kind of in between gears, and that's one thing about these modern automatics is that they're so quick to shift and they're so efficient, and they really do get more out of the car, not less. It's changed so much in the last 10 years. Now this 3-liter turbocharged inline 6-cylinder, it's in the M235, is 322 horsepower and 332 foot-pounds of torque. And it's smaller than the 4 Series, smaller than the 3 Series, so you've got a much better power-to-weight ratio. One thing though, you really have to think long and hard before you choose this car, no all-wheel drive. Now in Canada, all-wheel drive sales have absolutely taken off. If people go into a dealership, they almost always choose X-Drive. So that's one thing to consider, but having been a BMW owner for many, many years, I know that if you put the proper tires on a BMW, winter tires that is, and these cars are equipped with traction and stability control, and you use your brains, you can get pretty much anywhere. Now that's one thing that you have to consider, but a lot of people will not even consider a car nowadays because it's not available with all-wheel drive. Now in addition, you have a programmable car setup, the suspension, the engine management. You can go from economy mode to normal comfort setting, which I have it set here for the camera to keep it from shaking. Then you go up to Sport and Sport Plus, which changes the throttle mapping and also the suspension. So you really can make this car as lively as you want. But what I love about it is the compact nature of the car. I can see all the corners, the steering wheel's large, it's in my hands, and I just feel that this car is wrapped around me as an extension of my body compared to that new 4 Series, which is longer and bigger and maybe a little bit disconnected. I don't know. If it was me, I would love to have this car to blast around town in every single day. Now this car is about the same weight as the old 1 Series, even though it's larger. As I mentioned, the wheelbase stretched by about an inch bigger overall, but the weight gain is almost nothing. Now, if you get the automatic transmission over the manual, you add about 15 kilograms to the weight, but that's really negligible. Overall, it's just a fun little car, and the engine is so strong, and you point it and it goes where you want. This is great. So the new 228 starts at around $35,000 in Canada. If you want the M235, it's about 10 grand more at $45,000. Now the 2 Series are exactly $10,000 less than the 4 Series. So if you want a 428, it'll be $45,000. If you want a 435, it'll be $55,000. So they're staggering them basically $10,000 apart. And if you don't need the extra space in the back from the 4 Series, and you don't need the all-wheel drive, then this might be the better car to drive. It's got a better power to weight ratio, it's got the fabulous inline 6-cylinder engine, it saves you some money and is actually more engaging to drive. I really appreciate the fact that BMW is bringing a performance-oriented, very small car to the marketplace, but I don't agree with putting an M badge on it unless it really is an M2. What does this compete against? The new S3 that's just coming to market, maybe the CLA 45 AMG. The S3 is about $1,000 cheaper than this M235 in Canada, and the AMG Mercedes is about $5,000 more. So you have to decide what your priorities are, but this car, if it was me, would be my choice over the 4 Series.